And we're live.
It's like I
Hey.
never left.
Yeah,
John,
you've had
you got
a day.
busy day, it sounds like.
Yeah, dude, I went therapy, P.O. box to find a missing package, to podcast about game of the year, to dinner, to stream about Persona 3 and 4 being re-released, to top down. So I have been on the go since like 2.
It's been a day for you, yeah.
Yes, it has been a day.
Did you change your game of the year?
No. No.
Because you got a few extra weeks, so I thought maybe something might have shifted it or anything.
No, anything I've played recently is, yeah, actually I beat a couple games recently, but they're all like, I don't know how to describe it. Games to shut off my brain to. Yeah. No, actually one wasn't old. One definitely was. I forgot. I just realized I didn't even open up the document for the podcast. That's how behind I am right now. I haven't written in what I played or anything.
It happens.
Yeah, no.
Cool, and you did a fun sponsored stream?
I did a fun sponsored stream. I just did a stream for Persona 3 Portable. And technically also Persona 4 Golden, but they asked me specifically to push Persona 3 because that had not gotten re-released up to this point.
Yeah.
And Golden's been on Steam for a bit.
Did they ask for you to play a specific platform? Because it's out on like everything, right?
They just gave me a Steam code.
Okay.
Basically, that's all that's happened.
I know it's Game Pass, which is exciting.
Yeah, no. They just gave me a Steam code. They said if you really can't run it on Steam, we'll give you a console code, but we prefer you to do Steam, and that's what most companies do, anyways. It's just easier for them to give you a Steam code.
Yeah, Steam codes are usually pretty easy to come by because it's usually like the version that's like finished first, unless it's like a, like a PlayStation specific game or something. What's up with you, Paul?
Nothing. Just chilling, TV stuff has started back up, so this week has been kind of that for the most part.
You've been watching that 90s show.
I watched 2 episodes before the podcast here, yeah.
Okay, so on the scale of that 70s show, and I'm assuming, like me, you've watched all of that 80s show. Where does it range?
I've actually never seen that 80s show ever.
I don't think anyone has seen that 80s show, to be fair.
Again, I've seen all of it. I think there was 2 seasons.
Again, nobody.
There were 2 seasons of that?
That's
what?
insane.
I think so.
That's crazy. I don't know. From what I saw, it was like, oh yeah, this is that 70s show. I kind of don't like that 70s show. So,
really? I grew up watching it. I enjoyed it back then. I don't know if it still holds up. I have a hard time going back to shows with laugh tracks now.
It's fine. It's kind of novel that it's a show with a laugh track. Like, it feels old in a way that shows don't anymore.
I would assume something called that 90s show would feel old by default.
Actually, the way they do, like, the 90s things, like, or whatever, that era, is actually pretty good. Like, it's subtle and there are little things there.
What are the things?
I mean, it's hard to describe because there's no just, like, them saying, like, brand that existed in the 90s, but, like, at one point in one of the episodes, they threw one of those, like, those, like, Capri Sun, like, old package, like, weird
juice packets,
yeah, they, like, use one of those, just little shit like that, like, things that existed in that time or that were around in that time are just kind of are part of that world, and it's kind of novel that it's, like, naturally done, I think.
So are you getting some nostalgia that 70s show would have been lost on you?
No, the nostalgia stuff is pretty good. Red and Kitty are, like, the best part so far. Like, the new kids kind of suck, and I'm wondering if it's just because they don't have, like, the footing that the original cast had after, like, 1,000 episodes together or whatever,
That's kind of my thing with a lot of these ones where they're like, hey, let's bring the show back and we'll do it as their kids. Like, I'm immediately thinking of, like, Boy Meets World, Girl Meets World.
Yeah, right.
And it's like, well, I like these specific characters. I don't really care about your kids, but you're making a show about the kids, and it's like, none of you are Mr. Feeney.
Well, and it's funny because, like, the show knows that too. The first episode, every time an old character comes back or whatever, it's just laugh track, thunderous applause, and like everybody's going wild. The new kid who is ostensibly the star of the show, the new Eric, comes on. Crickets. Nobody. There's no like track or anything. It's just like, hi, I'm this character, and then the next character comes on. Wow, or whatever. It's like, yeah. I mean, the show knows. They know what they're doing. The whole first episode, there's barely any of the kids shit like at all. It's all just kind of catching up.
I think you gotta watch that 80s show, otherwise you're gonna miss a lot of nuance.
Yeah, obviously.
Because unlike that 90s show where it's all the characters brought again, that 80s show has none of the same characters. They just made a different new characters.
Yeah.
That's why it died and failed.
I think it got 2 seasons. So at one point they were like,
I really thought it only had the one.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, that 80s show has more seasons than this does currently, so there is something.
One season. 13 episodes, one season.
Okay. All I remember is they worked in a record store, and one of the main characters was like a goth chick. That was like her thing. That is all I remember from that.
Okay, cool. Sure.
Even though it had a similar name, show structure, and many of the same writers and production staff, it was not a direct spin-off of that 70s show. The characters and storylines from the two shows never crossed paths. It was a separate decade-based show created as a result of that 70s show's popularity at the time, and the show was canceled after 13 episodes.
Okay.
See, just 13. That's an easy watch. You could do it, and then you could join this club.
Yeah.
There's dozens of us.
13 episodes, and you thought there was 2 seasons because it drug on that long?
I thought there was, I mean, it was a long time ago. That was like in the basement of my parents' place, just being like, it's summertime. Like, oh, this is also on the pirating show site? All right.
Yeah.
Let's watch this.
Yeah, the pirating show site is probably the right price of admission for that 80s show.
You haven't seen it. You don't know, man. You can't say that.
It's probably correct, though. I figure you're probably going to watch that 90s show. I think you'll probably get a kick out of it. I don't know.
I don't know. Like, again, going back, shows with laugh tracks are hard for me. I might check it out just as a curiosity. What is it on a streaming service?
It's on Netflix. The whole season came out today.
All right. Okay. Yeah, maybe this weekend I'll give it a try. Who knows?
Yeah.
I am, however, the only person who enjoys Velma. I think it's scientifically proven.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Velma's fine. It's just written like for morons or something. Like the writing is fucking terrible, but it's okay. Like there's nothing bad about it.
I guess I'm a fucking moron. I kind of like the writing, and I've laughed a few times. I've enjoyed some of the jokes.
There was one joke that I was enjoying, and then they ruined it immediately by like tacking onto it. I'm like, oh, well, now you ruined it. I'm trying to remember what it was. I think it was like one of the characters dies in the first episode. Like person dies, and at the funeral they're singing like "My Pony" or something.
Yes, a sad version of "My Pony."
And I was like laughing pretty hard, and then they had to like follow it up with like an explanation on why that's funny or whatever. It's like, oh, okay, cool.
There was a pretty funny joke I thought this time, because they keep putting out 2 episodes each week, so I watched the new 2 episodes from today.
Gotcha.
Where people keep getting murdered for whatever reason, and they realize it's only like hot chicks who are getting murdered. So they're like, Velma, you need to make a list of the 5 hottest chicks at school.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to make them ugly. And I thought that was pretty funny. So I'm not going to just explain the whole joke. Then that won't be funny. But
then you could write for the show. You know how to do it.
I like the voice cast.
The voice cast is fine. The thing I am annoyed by is that I wish it was better because I like the animation quite a bit, like the style of it.
Yeah.
I enjoy quite a bit. I think it's totally fine. I think the hate is overblown, but I also understand that the writing is ridiculous. If you can shut your brain off, it's fine. It's okay.
I also have just been thinking, like, I didn't know this many people held Scooby-Doo that close to their heart.
This is the thing, is I don't give a fuck about Scooby-Doo at all, and I don't care what they do with that property, that gang, or any of it. I don't care. So I have no detachment.
I don't dislike Scooby-Doo. It's fine. Mr. Incorporated was a pretty good version of that.
Sure.
But it's like, you can do, I don't care, do whatever you want with Scooby-Doo. But apparently a lot of people are like really precious about Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, I have no
that was
attachment to it.
surprising.
So, yeah. Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about video games.
Oh,
for
Last of
once.
Us came out too. That first episode's pretty good. I just want to say.
I also enjoyed it. My girlfriend's gone this weekend, so I'm not going to even get to watch the second episode for a couple days. But
oh, you're gonna get it spoiled for you.
It was yeah. Oh no, it was actually in relation to that. It was kind of funny watching this episode, and as soon as you see like Sarah, I was just like, oh, because I know what's gonna happen. My girlfriend has no idea, and then that's the thing is like, can I talk about that episode? Because like, is it a spoiler? Is it not a spoiler? Like, this is a weird like Final Fantasy VII remake scenario again. It's like, what am I allowed to talk about?
Yeah.
But it's funny, like at one point, you know, they're talking like, you have to get Ellie out of here. You have to save her. And my girlfriend's just like, because she's the cure. And she turns to me and she's like, apparently I watched just enough of you playing that game. So that was pretty funny. But I'm liking that show.
Yeah.
Set in Calgary, so it's fun. Not that I've like recognized anything, but
I think a lot of those shots were in Edmonton, the city stuff.
Yeah, a lot of city stuff was Edmonton. They did some downtown Calgary.
I know some was Calgary for sure.
Some was Calgary.
My girlfriend was looking it up. Yeah,
and because Sate looked like zombie apocalypse hit a few times when I drove by it when they were shooting.
No, that's just what Sate normally looks like.
Oh, true. Yeah, that was
I was
just
gonna
the
say I've been to Sate like once ever, so I probably wouldn't even recognize it. If I see a big building, I'm gonna assume it's Sate.
Yeah, that's smart. You should just go through life. I mean that honestly with everything.
Okay, let's talk about video games for real, not just video game shows.
Okay.
It's the top 10 perspective for January 19th. And I'm Sean Booker.
I'm Paul Flack.
I'm John Wheeler.
John, what have you been playing?
This lamp that I cannot get on in the shot because there is a very short cord they gave me.
Okay.
Atlas gave me Persona 3 and 4 lamps, and I'm peeling off the protective layer on it. So this is the Persona 3 lamp. It's got the midnight hour.
It's a lamp?
Yeah. You put it in this little LED base, and it lights up, and you can tell it's made for it because it has the game's name on it.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. But it has one of these really annoying reflective backings to remove, so it takes forever to remove.
Which one's better? Which lamp's better?
I kind of like the clock one more, but I have to get the backing off of it first.
Okay. All right.
But what I actually played this week was I played a couple different things. Vengeful Guardian Moonrider. That is the new game by Joy Masher. It's Joy Masher, right?
Joy Masher. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, Joy Masher. They did Blazing Chrome. They did Oniken and Odalis, The Dark Call. Pretty good. That is basically just Hagane meets Mega Man X. It's almost literally that, which is impressive.
Yeah.
Fun, but surprisingly short. I actually had a great time with it. I do recommend it to anyone who likes retro hack and slash games like Ninja Gaiden, Strider, or likes Mega Man-esque games because it's pretty much up there. And it's actually not super difficult.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good.
It's pretty sweet spot for difficulty, yeah.
Yeah. And if you are having trouble, there is like power-ups you can get to take less damage or whatever.
The first time you get a game over, they give you a piece of armor that or an armor upgrade rather that halves the damage you take.
Yeah.
It just affects your overall ranking, that's it. And the rankings don't mean jack all, so.
True. Yep.
I played like all those companies like Limited Run?
Yep.
Yeah.
I ordered from Strictly Limited 2 years ago at this point, a bunch of stuff, and it finally showed up this week.
Okay.
Oh, so a little fun little surprise.
Yeah. No, this is a week of a lot of shit I've been waiting on finally showing up because my Analog Pocket finally showed up as well.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Did anything show up that you had forgotten that you've ordered? So it was like a nice, like, little Christmas present?
Yeah, actually something from Limited Run. I ordered Mushahime-sama for Switch, so I got the game, and I also forgot I had ordered this. It is a case you can put the game into and a little controller, and so it's like an actual like desktop arcade machine. These things are super neat, but I have not had a chance to play with that yet.
This is like a Kickstarter thing where you completely forget about it because it takes at least 2 years.
Pretty much, that's the thing. But like, I usually hope the limited runs send stuff sooner, and I always get disappointed. But man, Strictly Limited took 2+ years to send what I ordered. But I got the Space Invaders Invincible Collection, I think is what it's called. But I had ordered the collector's edition that came with an actual board game they made. So I now have a Space Invaders board game to go along with all these Space Invaders games I have for my Switch.
I've seen those before. I don't know if this is like a different one.
It might be similar. I don't know, but it's specifically marked as like the collector's edition board game. So I also got, what else was in there? Some Darius, some shmup collections.
Okay.
And the one I actually ended up playing and was excited about, the Turrican Anthology. So this is a collection of every Turrican game that ever came out, including some of the director's cuts and stuff they put onto like the analog Super, like the Super NT and stuff like that.
I actually remember wanting this.
Yeah. No. Yeah, those Turrican games are pretty fucking good if you've never played them. And I hadn't really dug into them that much except for a bit of Super Turrican. So I sat down and just played through Super Turrican. And yeah, that was actually kind of awesome. Like, those games are pretty good. I'm also playing through currently the first game, which was an Amiga game, and man, that soundtrack is phenomenal. But also, that game is both absolutely bullshit at times with difficulty and absolutely gives away 1-ups for free. I hopped into one secret on like the first stage and found like 10 1-ups, and then just kept losing them and regaining them as I was going through the stage. It's kind of bonkers. Every time I look at a long play to say, like, see how long and far I am in the game, it'll be like, yeah, we're here. We've got 35 lives currently. I'm just like, what? It's just a ride to play. But like, they're basically like Contra-like games if you've never played them. But they're very fun but difficult games, and their soundtracks are all really good. So if anything, I'd play it for them just to hear the music.
Did they do any like updating, maybe like a rewind feature or anything?
So they actually do it this in an interesting way. So there's 2 collections. One half has I'm trying to remember. One has like Turrican 1, 2, 3 Super, and like a some like high score version of the Genesis one, and then the other collection has Super 2, Mega, some other versions I can't remember right now. So there's like 10 games. There's 10 games between 2 collections. Each game, they have this manual scan, they have like the box art and stuff like that, but they also have 2 modes you can play. One where you can have save states, rewinds, like slow down, like all these different features you'd expect from like a modern day collection, and one that turns all of that off. If you play the one with all of them off, there's an achievement system in the game that you can do to like, oh, I've done this in the game so far, and kind of mark off your progress in the collection. But if you don't want any of that, you can just save state, rewind, do whatever you want. They also built in a map feature to the game. So if you're clicking on the right thumbstick, you suddenly get an overlay of the entire map of the stage and where you have been in the stage so far. Like, it reveals itself kind of like how like a Doom map used to. So it'll show you where all the secrets are that you might have missed and stuff like that. It's actually really, really well done. I actually do recommend it. So if you like those kind of run and gun games, kind of like Contra, absolutely get the Turrican Anthologies. Highly recommend.
Nice.
I needed some vegetation time, some time to just kind of detox from how stressful MagFest and everything else was. So I spent basically a week playing through Pixel Cross Adventure, which is a Picross game that is also an adventure game. So you go through running around solving puzzles, and sometimes the puzzles you get create items that you can use in other areas. So you can access other puzzles and find different secrets. You have an inventory where you collect all these different items that unlock new areas and different paths through areas, and you just have to just do a bunch of puzzles and just get through it. So it was a nice, interesting take on Picross, and just kind of a nice thing to veg out and play. So
cool.
Other than stuff I played on stream like Backpack Hero, that's about all I played.
Backpack Hero is great. That's a
Backpack Hero.
Backpack Hero is a roguelike game where you have a backpack and you find items as you kill enemies. You use the items in your backpack to kill enemies or defend yourself and stuff like that. And as you level up, you make your backpack bigger. So you have to strategically decide what items you put in there. It's like an inventory management game, like Safe Room or like Resident Evil 4. Like, you have to like spin things around to make them fit.
Yeah.
But you can make it so that like things are automated. Like, okay, this item is next to this weapon, so now this weapon does double damage. This item needs MP, so it has to have a mana stone next to it. Stuff like that. It's actually really cool.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
My buddy Popsky, who gifted it to me, as he's saying in the chat right now, is like, let me on the podcast. I'll talk about it for 10 hours. I think he's clocked you over 100 hours on that already, Pops? It's an early access, I should state. So, but like, it's pretty solid where it is. It's got 5 playable characters.
Wow.
And they all play somewhat differently. It genuinely seems really interesting.
I should check that version out. The Steam, when they released it on Steam, they added a bunch of stuff. I should check that out at some point.
70 hours in a week, Popsky says.
Jesus.
That's too much.
Yep, that's all I'm playing.
That's too much.
It is too much. That's like all you did was that and sleep. That's too much. Some fun pixel art. I like it.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool game.
This almost looks like it would have been like really good on the DS.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They should make a new DS.
Yeah. They did. It's called the Switch.
Yeah.
No, they should make like it needs 2 screens. I want it to like fold.
Duct tape 2 switches together, and there you go.
Mm-hmm. That's the play.
Yeah, that's true. There you go. Yep. All right. Before the next person talks about what they've been playing, I forgot to mention that the February TDP Plus poll is live. So go vote on that for what we're gonna play through next week. And
Nice.
the next week will be our TDP Plus episode about Lego City Undercover.
All right.
Paul, did you play anything you want to talk about?
Nope.
All right, then I've been playing a few stuff, including finishing Pokemon Violet.
What do you
Okay.
think?
It's it's okay. Performance issues aside, I had a good time, but that was just a constant like sighing every time I played that game. But the story is pretty good, and it's it's unique. They do some more stuff than just like fight the bad guys and then do the Elite Four. I will say though, when you go to fight the Elite Four, they make you do this like Elite Four quiz. It's an interview, they call it, in which you need to remember. You need to pick, like, they ask what was the hardest gym leader you faced, and you can select any of them. You don't actually have to say the one that you struggled on or whatever. But then they're like, oh yeah, what was their name? And it's like, are you kidding me? I don't remember a single character's name in this entire game. I have a life. And then they said, oh, okay, if you get it right, they say, well, what kind of Pokemon did they use? And it's like, Jesus Christ, are you kidding me? If you get any of these wrong, they just send you out and you have to start over again.
Oh, that's so dumb. I had heard
Yeah.
people complaining about like a quiz. I didn't realize it was something like that.
Yeah, like I literally failed twice, and at that point, actually, I went in there and I was like, okay, I'll just be honest. They're like, why are you here? And the answer was like, no, it's like, why do you want to be a champion? And it was like, because that's like my dream. And the other option was like, just for fun, I guess. And I was like, that is exactly why I'm here. That I just for fun, I guess. I'm playing a video game. Nope, that was the wrong answer. They sent me out of the building. I had to do it again.
I saw a comic making fun of just exactly that. It's like, I'm not lying. It really is just for fun. I don't want to be champion.
Exactly. Like I was just like, I don't care. What are you doing? So I literally had to look up a guide for this because I'm not going to sit there and like go through the, because there's like 8 gym leaders. So there's 8 names. There's 8 types. Like I'm not going to just trial and error this. So I'm looking up a guide. Like, how do I do the Elite Four quiz? This is so insane. This is ridiculous. Grow up. That's what I got to say to that. Anyway, so I'm done that. I might do some of the end game stuff because it does seem fun. However, Fire Emblem came out an hour ago. I'm also playing literally a million games right now, so more Pokemon is not ideal. What else am I playing? I've been playing Jett the Far Shore.
Okay.
On my PlayStation. I've been wanting to check this out for a while, and I got a code for it because a whole new campaign is getting added to that game on the 31st.
Mm-hmm.
Which I understand the whole new campaign is about the same length as the main game, 10 to 12 hours. So that's pretty cool. It's also coming to Steam and PC on the same day as well. So the PC version is going to have the new stuff, whereas the other version, it's like an add-on. I forgot the name of the other campaign, but I'm playing the main one right now. You do have the option if you buy the like full set on Steam or whatever to just jump into the new campaign if you want to do that. But I haven't played the original one, so I wanted to do that. A game by the Super Brothers and that's kind of fascinating to me, is why those guys came back after 10 years to make another video game
Yeah.
after just like going and living in the woods or whatever they were doing. So I've only played about an hour of it. I don't even know what I would like. Paul, did you play any of this?
No, I remember you talking a little bit about it. I thought you were saying it was like quite short.
I think it's 10 to 12 hours.
Oh,
I haven't
really?
played it before. Just played
Oh.
it today. Let me
Okay.
look it up.
No, I haven't played this one.
8.5 hours. Maybe the new campaign is even longer.
Wow. Okay.
But that's also just like the PR email is saying like approximates, so who knows how accurate that is.
Sure.
It's weird. So it's kind of like you're in a tiny ship and you're just flying across like a new planet. All the characters speak like an unknown language, so you're kind of looking at subtitles the whole time. So it has a bit of an issue of like, I'm trying to focus on flying, but you want me to read the subtitles, so I have to kind of keep going back and forth.
Right.
And then every now and then you'll just kind of come across something that you can scan, kind of like No Man's Sky-esque, where it's just like, here's a weird plant. And you scan it and it kind of just tells you about the plant. If you scan enough of it, you get like all the details of the plant. And it'll do this odd thing where you'll come across like an island. You can land. Sometimes if it's story based, you can get out of the ship and walk around. Other times you can just land for no reason, but you want to get back in your ship so you can move around. And it'll be like you have 20 minutes to stay on this island in real game time. I don't know why I need to spend 20 minutes here or whatever. I'm still on the island. That's when I paused it.
Oh.
That was just kind of weird. I don't know. It's interesting. Like you can kind of see a bit of a through line from sorcery to this, just in terms of like it's real ethereal. It's real kind of calm. They've made like a real chill. It's really atmospheric. You can kind of see it, but at the same time, Sword and Sorcery was like a pixel art, almost point and click adventure, and this is a polygonal spaceship simulator game. So it's not a direct line, but I feel like thematically you can kind of see some of it. I'm curious to play more of it. I've only put about an hour, maybe an hour and a half into it. Really fantastic title card. Oh, just so great. We'll say that. I've also started up Ghostwire Tokyo.
Okay.
Just another PlayStation game that I just never got to. Wanted to start that up. That game is gorgeous looking.
Yeah. Cool environment.
Default one is like 4K ray tracing, and that was very enjoyable to see. Much like Jett, it defaults to like not English language. This one, it's Japanese. So it's a lot of me like wanting to look at the screen, but I also need to read all the text because it's in Japanese. So right. I can only understand it. So I don't know if I'll switch it to English. I'm liking the Japanese, but that is just a kind of an annoyance I have to deal with.
Sure.
But yeah, and I've put even less time into Ghostwire right now. I've just been kind of hopping around a lot of PlayStation stuff. For reasons I can talk about next week. Let me just say that.
Ooh, spicy.
Yeah. And I'll also mention, again, I can't talk about it, but I got to go to a game preview event this week for Like a Dragon Ishin.
Okay. Yep.
So I got to play a few hours of that, and I think I'll be able to. Actually, I don't even know if I'll be able to talk about that next week. I have to check out when the embargo is. I'll be able to talk about that in the coming weeks. If I can say that.
All right. Fair enough.
But it was cool going to like the Microsoft event space and just being like, look at all these booths set up and just hanging out. We're all here to play a couple hours of this game. That was just a fun game journalism experience. All right, let's do some news. Some stuff happened.
Okay.
Including Stadia closing down for good. It is now gone. So I thought we would go in a circle and we would all share our favorite Stadia moment and favorite memory we had with Stadia.
Oh, it's when you ordered that thing.
When I bought Stadia, that was your favorite moment?
Yeah.
Okay. John, what was your favorite Stadia memory?
My favorite Stadia memory was when they announced a Bomberman game that I was really excited to play, and then found out I had to wait a year until it made it out to other platforms so I could play it.
You like that? I was not a fan of that.
Oh, I'm not a fan of that, but it's the only memory I have of Stadia, so it's all
fair.
I can work with.
Let me give you... So there is one last thing you can do with Stadia. Maybe this will be your favorite memory. They are discontinuing the Wi-Fi connectivity of the controller. If you don't remember, the Stadia controller would connect directly to your Wi-Fi router so that you could like hop between devices
Right.
seamlessly with the same controller. They're
Which is a neat
discontinuing that,
idea.
and they're enabling Bluetooth on the controller. So you'll be able to just use it as a Bluetooth controller on whatever you want. If you don't update your controller and get the Bluetooth connectivity by the end of this year, you will never get to use it as Bluetooth controller.
Ooh!
I don't think that's true. Somebody will crack it. They
Someone
always
will
do.
crack it, definitely.
I'm just going off the official word. Quote, after the shutdown in January, you have until December 31st, 2023 to update the controller so it can use Bluetooth mode.
To do it easily through them, yes. For sure. You might as well. Like, why wouldn't you? If you have it.
I mean, I'll give you a reason why not to. It's in the closet right now.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Let me give you another reason. There's probably 9 million controllers in this apartment.
Yeah, it's somewhere in there, in that pile.
So, like, there's two reasons why I might just not do this. Because it's like, I could spend 10 minutes getting this out, charging it up a bit, reading how to update it properly, and then doing that just so I get to put it right back in the closet. Or I could go eat a sandwich.
Yeah.
Or I could put a movie on.
Yep.
So there you go. Anyway, I think it's hilarious that there's even a cutoff point. Why on earth would you do that? So that's my favorite Stadia memory, is that, because I got to laugh a little bit.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Insider news, Microsoft announced it's laying off 10,000 employees on Monday.
Yeah, I did
Tuesday.
see this.
I think they did it on Tuesday. The way this crosses over is that some of those layoffs are hitting 343. Some of the coalition is also getting hit, as well as Bethesda Game Studios. It's sounding like a bit of rocky. This hasn't been confirmed yet, but 343's Halo Infinite campaign team got hit hard. Some of the people also on 343 kind of are getting moved around, some restructuring. Not great. Also, a lot of people are kind of pointing out, last year, almost like a year exactly from now, Microsoft announced a $69 billion purchase of Activision, and then a year later, laying off 10,000 employees. Not a great look.
Yeah.
So yeah, pour one out for all those people. Hopefully they land on their feet. But just a bummer to see. It's happening everywhere. GameSpot got hit today. We were just talking about it before the show.
Yeah, so what happened there? Like, I just felt like I saw the announcements, stuff from Giant Bomb and everything. Like, is there any given reason for why the layoffs, or is it just there's layoffs?
So I can't say why exactly. GameSpot and all the game channels were sold off from the company I work for back in October. Meaning they kept these people around for 3 months and then laid them off, which is weird. Seems very quick. So yeah, it just sounds like another kind of economic status from me reaching out to some of my old colleagues. I don't know, but yeah, they had to blade off. It sounded like about 20 to 30 people across a bunch of their things, including Giant Bomb, GameSpot, Metacritic, on and on. Times are tough for games journalism. It seems like there's a new one of these every 2 weeks or so. Another site gets hit. We had talked about Ubisoft last week in their kind of financial call they did, where they said things are looking a little rough. They had to cancel a few games. They had to delay Skull and Bones yet again. One of the parts of that we didn't mention was that the CEO, Yves Guillemot, however you pronounce it, kind of came out with a statement, and just kind of, this isn't verbatim, basically said, hey, you guys need to work real hard now for us to like right the ship, which didn't come across great. As a result, Ubisoft Paris is going on strike. I think it's just a half-day strike. I understand Ubisoft has also been like kind of not following the union they had going on, or that Ubisoft Paris, I guess, falls under in terms of like cost of living wages, raises, and stuff like that. This is happening on January 27th, where they're basically asking management to do better. And then, of course, you can kind of tie this to all of the whole stuff of like Ubisoft management and all the like abuse that was going on. What was that, like a year ago or so? Not a great look for Ubisoft right now, especially the CEO, who, you know, either protected some of the people, didn't change things enough. So that's another result of protecting some of these abusers or toxic workspace. You know, there's a lot of things you can kind of point at. Anyways, the long and short of it, January 27th, Ubisoft Paris is going to be striking for a half day in the afternoon to put pressure on at least the salaries. So we'll see if anything happens from that. It is pretty weird to, you know, have the CEO come out and say like, oh, well, the employees need to just do better. If you know, this is management's job, but hey, you guys need to do better if you want the company to sell more, work harder. Capitalism, man. Speaking of Ubisoft, Rainbow Six, they've announced a Rainbow Six movie.
A Tom Clancy movie? I don't know that that'll work.
Yeah, he'll never take off, really.
In the works from John Wick director and Michael B. Jordan. I'm assuming it's like a production company he has.
Probably, yeah.
I haven't looked too much into this. I'll ask you right now, does this ever come out?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Tom Clancy movies come out a fair amount, actually.
Is it called Rainbow Six?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't think this ever comes out.
Well, this article says that this is a sequel to a movie that exists that came out last year, so it probably totally will come out.
Wait, what was the original movie?
Without Remorse. This apparently is going to be a direct sequel to that.
But now Ubisoft's in charge, like it's their studio that's doing it.
I mean, I have no idea if they're going to be involved at all besides just selling the right to the
2001's Without Remorse. It stars Michael B. Jordan. Okay. Does this first one have anything to do with Ubisoft? I don't think so.
No, but it's a Tom Clancy.
Rainbow Six is an actual story.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I understand that. I'm surprised. Like, why is Ubisoft coming in to like, we'll take it from here, guys? I guess they're just getting more involved with movies and TV deals.
They're trying to find money because they are bleeding.
They have an Assassin's Creed show coming, right, on Netflix?
If they still exist, then yes. I think that's still in the works. That was
coming because there's like 7 Assassin's Creed things coming right now. I'm trying to think, did they announce any other shows or movies? What could they have even announced? Is there a Division movie being made?
I thought we talked about that before.
I wouldn't be surprised. There is a Far Cry movie, right?
Yes, there is.
That already came out.
Oh, years ago.
That was what's his name? Uwe Boll.
Uwe Boll, yeah, in the early
2008.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not great reviews.
Will it be based on the book or the video games? I don't know, but apparently this movie, the other movie ended with the main character creating an anti-terrorist team codenamed Rainbow, and this is the sequel, so it's probably going to be based on whatever haphazard thing that the first one was based on.
The Far Cry movie, it doesn't have a tomato meter score, but it has an audience score of over 1,000 ratings.
Yeah.
12%.
Yeah, that movie does a bad job because it's boring, which is like the worst thing.
You've seen it.
Yeah, I own it. I have almost every Uwe Boll movie because they're all in like the 2-cent bin, like in thrift stores and shit. Nobody wants that shit.
I was gonna say, would you rather watch the Far Cry movie or the Hitman movie?
Hitman, 100%. I like the Hitman movie. That movie's good. Well,
it's better. What about the second one?
I mean, Far Cry's just boring, though, is the problem. It's like a bad war movie. So
That's why we need Blood Dragon. Just do Far Cry Blood Dragon.
Agreed. Yeah.
That would be cooler. Or would you just rather like a fun cartoon of that?
Oh,
Like
that
an
would be the
animated
best.
movie.
Yeah. I'm in.
I could see it doing well either, like
Yeah.
live action or because then it would just be like an '80s movie, right? I could see either being fine.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, last quick news story here. Nintendo has announced that in the next fiscal year, which starts in April, they are going to be making more Switch units. The only reason this is noteworthy is that is, quote, unusually aggressive move for a game console going into its 7th year on the market.
Yeah. Okay.
Putting that out there. So I guess there's a high demand still for Switches, so they're going to make more of them.
Okay.
There you go.
Sure.
That does it for news. Let's do some questions. If you would like to send in questions, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box.
Yes. We have some episode titles, so let's get right into that.
Guessing.
Okay, starting from November 24th of last year, and it goes up until last week. So November 24th, it's technically one of the worst things I've seen in my life.
That could be so many things.
Yeah.
Good. November 24th. So this would have been like Thanksgiving, right?
For you, yes.
Yeah. I don't remember what that would have been.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you eat something? Did we talk about American Thanksgiving and weird shit that they eat? Like, is that one of the worst things?
I don't think we did. I also don't think anything I ate would have been one of the worst things I've ever seen.
True.
That seems very rude to say to my girlfriend's family.
It doesn't seem like something you would say to, like, about food in general, yeah.
Something I've ever seen. I have no idea.
I don't know either. Context is, apparently my take on Pokemon Scarlet and Violet running so poorly for their price tag. Sean added the game feels like it's running in pain. John, on the other hand, was excited to try it out because of this. Alternative title was I Don't Like Bush. All right.
Okay, I remember that. That was someone in India whispered that to me.
Okay, I didn't remember. I was just gonna throw it out there and keep moving, but I'm glad you knew.
Yep. Yeah. I know that one. Yeah.
All right, December 1st. You don't want to fall asleep in the Sonic pervert party. God damn it. This is a Sean. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it's about Sonic Frontiers.
We were talking about Sonic Frontiers, and I think I said something about Sonic perverts being into it or whatever, and then I don't remember how the party came up, but then we warned people that you don't want to fall asleep in the Sonic pervert
Yeah, I don't remember how the party came up either. Context is, Sonic Frontiers won the poll for TDP Plus game, much to your discontent, saying the voters were a bunch of Sonic perverts. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Accurate. December 15th. She would shriek.
Oh. I remember what it was. Do you guys?
No.
Did you know somebody that would yell about something?
This was when I was at the Game Awards, and there was that Final Fantasy girl sitting behind me.
Yeah.
Anything Final Fantasy related would get even mentioned. She would shriek so loud. Yeah.
Okay. Context is Sean talking about a girl sitting next to him, the Game Awards reaction to Final Fantasy related. Alternative title was, turns out there's a person under there. December 22. I think it would be cool if he just died.
Muppets. That was Muppets.
That was Animal. What was I think it'd be cool if he just died.
This is about Ash. I'm pretty sure this is
you
talking
this guy's
about
Ash being done as a trainer.
I can't remember if it. Yeah, no, because I remember you said that, and both John and I were like, "What the fuck?"
No, he absolutely should. I think that'd be so great. Or if he like turned to dust.
Yeah,
I think that's what we were talking about, was him turning to dust.
I think you literally said, or if he just turned to dust, like right after you said it would be cool if he just died.
That would be so good if they played it like totally seriously and just like let him like finally rest. Oh, I think that'd be so good. But they are not brave enough to do it.
Context is Ash retiring from Pokemon and retiring from the Pokemon anime. There's still 11 epilogue episodes for his goodbye. Wondering if he would pop in from time to time. Sean preferred he would just become dust in the wind or age very rapidly, whatever's best.
Homer in the chat reminds us that Ash has died before. Do you remember that video going around where like Ash like died or turned to stone and then Pikachu spoke?
That's from the movie, right?
It was one of the more recent movies. Well, but Pikachu spoke.
Yeah, like, that's right.
And I just remember the video and what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
All right, the Game of the Year episode. They have a title, Must Follow Instagram. And I don't know why.
This has to be talking about something with Nathan, right?
Yeah, was this like Nathan having to like follow like Matthew Perry's Instagram as one of his predictions?
Yes, that's exactly it.
Context.
That was him. The pausing was him writing it down.
Yeah, he got it. As a host, we're making predictions. Nathan brought to the table a possibility for Matthew Perry getting away in Starfield for a month to the point where he'd make headlines for his disappearance. # pray for Perry. The rest baffled disagreed on the fact that that it would be a newsworthy event, but in case gave him the task to keep an eye on him. That's pretty good. January 5th. I'm not trying to be pretentious, but I literally did have one before it was cool. And oh my god. I'm trying to remember what it was now, but I remember this. I remember somebody saying this.
I know the answer, so.
I wasn't here, so.
Yep.
Oh, this is about the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had to like play it again in my head. Yeah, you saying like everybody has a podcast, and I'm not trying to be pretentious, but like I literally had one before it was cool or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just me reminiscing about how long, because I think like it's like tomorrow or 2 days from now is the anniversary, isn't it? Somewhere around the 20th?
Something like that?
Yeah, so we're like into year 13 or something like that now, or
God.
Yeah. And I was saying, John, like we're only a few years away from me having done this show for the majority of my life.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god.
And then a few years after that, it'll be you.
Oh my god. The weird thing is I recently hit the mark of living in Alberta for most of my life now, because like I had to hit 36 before I hit the point of like more than half my life was spent in Newfoundland or here.
Yeah.
Ooh, buddy.
Time is weird.
It's already weird enough thinking that I've been doing like YouTube stuff for like going on soon 16 years.
Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
The context is exactly what we said. The 12th, January 12th, Peeping Paul, and I remember this. This is my autobiography.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But there is an alternative title, so I'll throw this out there. Rain kills everything it lands on. And I don't remember what this is, which is why this is...
Are we talking about how 100% of people who drink water die or something like that? Something stupid like that?
I don't remember that at all.
Like
did I mention how it's like raining a lot here? It was something about that, maybe?
Rain kills everything it lands on.
Yes, because like you were finally getting rain there, and it was like a lot of rain or something.
It's a lot of rain.
Yeah, I don't remember at all.
I have no idea.
Okay, that context is... Oh, Dwarf Fortress. You were reading out patch notes.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Including cleaned up the bear situation, stopped aerial births, stopped soldiers from going to parties, among other things.
Yep. All right.
Thank you for writing those in.
We got most of those. That's like a first.
Yeah. They were only a month back. It's only been a month.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, I'll read this first one from Matthew. If you were to die and be brought back to life, would you rather be a zombie, a ghost, or a skeleton?
Wow, what a question.
Okay, I think definitely not zombie because you're rotting flesh, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dom is definitely the worst of the three.
Probably a ghost, I guess.
Well, it depends on the ghost rules. Can people see you?
Yeah, that's the kicker. Can you interact with things?
Because if you can possess stuff, it's definitely ghost.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
agreed.
Because then you could just possess a person, and then you can kind of have somewhat of a life. I guess you're stealing their life.
If you can't interact with anything, you can't like be seen or heard. Like then skeleton at that point.
Okay, why the skeleton? Like people are
Because
still gonna be afraid of
zombie,
you.
you have no control. Like you have no actual like free will,
Like
basically.
agency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skeletons have been shown, depending on the version of skeleton, can like basically act like a human. They just are skin. They're just bones. So like,
Well, if we're doing depending on the version of the zombie, I did watch.
Zombie.
Well, I was gonna say no, Warm Bodies, where it's like
Yeah,
Romeo
Warm
and Juliet,
Bodies.
and he falls in love with a woman, and
That's
like
true.
he's got a lot of agency, so like you
Yeah.
can still get it.
Yep. It's true.
If zombie Nicholas Holt can get it, then there's hope for any of us. Skeleton. If you're a
Ghost.
skeleton,
If I can interact with things, it's Ghost.
It's Ghost, I think. Yeah.
yeah, I think that's almost too easy. But however, if you are a skeleton, then you could play like the xylophone ribcage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the only one that could do that. I guess maybe zombie could do that.
Yeah, zombie would probably like break a rib in the process of doing it though.
Yeah.
If you're a ghost, you get like Danny Phantom ghost powers where you can like fight crime because you can shoot lasers.
Mm.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Also,
too.
Ghost lets you fly like that.
Ghost lets you fly and go through walls. Yeah, that's kind of why I'm like Ghost. But if you can't interact with anything, that would kind of be boring then.
If you can't interact with anything and you never die, then like it's eternal torment, and that might be the actual worst one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worse than
Because zombies can die.
Exactly, you could get killed, and you'd probably get killed pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Ghost, you're just like trapped forever. It would be cool for maybe like, I don't know, 200 years, and then it would just be awful.
Yeah. Suku writes, I was listening to an old episode where Sean regaled his tale of accomplishing the Bladder of Steel achievement for Rock Band, which took him more than 6 hours. It has been a decade since then, and I'm wondering, that can't be where he peaked, right? What would all of you say is your greatest achievements in video gaming? I don't have any.
Just in my mom's basement, just with the realization
that's where you peaked.
all downhill from here.
I did it. 6 hours.
That was way more than 6 hours because we failed at like 2 in the morning, went to sleep, and I woke up like 5 hours later and started it over again.
Good Lord.
That was messed up. I'm still super proud of that. I still tell people about that. That is, I have never met someone else who has gotten that achievement.
Yeah, because that's kind of miserable doing 6 hours like that. Because there's no pausing,
it's
right?
Crazy, yeah.
You can't pause. You can't fail. You have to just play every single song in Rock Band 2.
That's just miserable, man.
It's pretty miserable.
It's an achievement. Like, yeah. And let me tell you, when you do like 4 hours of it, and then your friend bumps the Xbox guide button, which pauses the game, invalidating it at 2 in the morning.
Oh, that's a good point from Lineback. Did you tell Jeff Keighley about that? Ask him, did you do this? Have you ever got this achievement? Oh man, what if you did? And he's like, actually, I have.
Then I would do the secret Canadian handshake with him.
Yeah.
And then they'd be besties for life.
Yeah.
Absolutely. People did mention the interviewing Reggie. That's pretty high up there too. and Jeff Keighley. Both of those were cool.
I'd say those are definitely up there for you.
What about you guys? You must have something.
No, I don't.
Pure gaming achievement, probably getting in the top 100 for the Master Ninja tournaments for Classic Ninja Gaiden, or sorry, Ninja Gaiden for Xbox rather.
Didn't you go the Nintendo Championship thing?
I went to that. I got third in the qualifiers, but only the winner got to go.
In the qualifier. I see. Okay.
Yeah, the qualifier.
Gotcha.
Only the winner of the qualifier got to go. I got third, and when I left for the day, which was like 20 minutes before the whole thing was done, I was second.
I mean, that's pretty good.
I was third at that point because second was technically like the backup in case the first person couldn't go or something like that. It was something weird like that.
Gotcha.
Paul, I know you have some stuff. On like 1 or 2 episodes ago, you talked about speed running.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I don't call those achievements. That's just playing games, man. I'm not proud of anything in gaming. Who cares?
Okay.
I just don't care.
Okay. Did you have another one, John? It sounded like you were about to say another one.
I mean, I guess like when I got second in the Iron Man of gaming at Skirtac Gaming Convention.
Oh, right.
You could also even say your collection.
Sure. The
Yeah.
greatest achievement of video gaming is having money.
I mean,
Hey, man.
it is.
Yeah, go for it. I'm trying to
Making
think.
it my job, I guess that's technically
Yeah.
it.
For sure.
I went to Video Games Live in Calgary, and while we were waiting for it to start in the lobby, they had a Guitar Hero station
Yeah,
set up.
I remember.
Yeah.
And they said, whoever gets the highest score on this song, you will get invited up on stage to play Guitar Hero Live in front of everyone. And I had the #1 spot for the longest time. And I was like
Wow.
watching the booth to see if anyone was going to come up. But then someone who was like really good came up and destroyed me.
Yeah.
Which is good because they were way better. So they were able to like really show off.
Right.
But there was a moment there where I was like, holy smokes, I might be the best Guitar Hero player who went up to this platform.
Sure.
I had something weirdly similar to that too at a different Video Games Live where I was the top scorer and then I didn't see anyone beat it. And then the guy they called up, I watched him play and I knew I had a better score. So I was confused why I didn't get called up.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Maybe you needed to like talk to them beforehand or something
Maybe.
to confirm
I
that you
don't-
were
I don't
still
know.
there or something.
It was weird. I'm like, I definitely beat that guy's score.
Oh man, I could have been you up
well.
there.
I could have been the one
Could've
playing
ran
the
up there and
Pretender
ripped
by
the-
Foo Fighters.
Ripped
Yeah.
the controller right out of his hand.
You're right. It was that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guitar Hero 3, I remember it well.
Yeah, that's true.
Lineback writes in and says, the advent of The Last of Us show got me thinking. If Resident Evil 1 got a 1-to-1 adaptation show, would you rather it be cheesy like the PS1 original or more serious like the GameCube remake? I mean, cheesy's what I want. But like,
yeah.
Yeah, but like, do I want, if I want it to continue and actually be taken seriously, it's got to be the GameCube remake.
I mean, they should just make one of those horror because they don't know how to write for Resident Evil at all. So just don't write anymore. Just make somebody in a scary haunted house.
Rasterman writes, what's your favorite map in a video game?
To Dust.
The map from Dust?
DE_Dust.
Dust.
Oh,
Yeah, a
okay.
classic Counter-Strike map.
Oh, I don't know if I have a favorite map. Nothing really jumps
Blood
out. to me.
Gulch, probably.
Oh, Blood Gulch is pretty good. Yeah.
You guys are doing
Facility.
like stages. I interpreted it like
Oh,
Breath of the Wild.
yeah,
I
like
mean,
a map.
Yeah, technically, it still counts. But yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
That's how-
I was
Well, I
originally
mean, yours
a
is fine,
joking
too. I
answer
just-
like the map from Link: The Faces of Evil.
Yeah, I mean, you interpret it however you want. I'm just saying that's what jumped into my head was like
I didn't even think
Elden-
about it. that
Elden
way.
Ring's map never ends. It just keeps getting bigger.
Yeah. Oh shit. I don't know now.
I like a map that if there's any kind of verticality to the stage, I like when I can like rotate the map in the Z axis and like zoom in real close and like really kind of like look like what do they want? Where do you want me to go? That's always fun.
Sure, yeah. Man, I don't know. Now I'm like all jumbled up. What's a game that had good maps? What about games where like you have to physically like either, I can't remember what games they were. On the Wii U, like you would have to look down at your thing to look at the map, or in a game.
Zombie.
Yeah, I think
it was the backpack.
the backpack, yeah. But like a similar thing. And in first person,
You're thinking like Mario Kart 8, where you could look down and you could see a picture of the track.
yeah, kind of like stuff where you actually have to look away from the main objective, or like in a first person shooter or something, you like pull out your map and it's like taking up a bunch of real estate on your screen that you can't see past or whatever. I kind of like that idea.
Sure.
I guess like Dead Space's HUD was kind of like that. You would bring up the map and it's just this big gaudy thing, but like the world doesn't really stop. It just slows down a bit.
Makes sense. All
All right, next question from VGC Kenny. How far would you be willing to go to save Stadia? Alternatively, the not a genie that is making a deal with you offers a save Stadia. In exchange, you give up the ability to do something you were never going to do anyways. For example, we will save Stadia, but you can never live in Russia. Would you take it then? I mean, I don't give a fuck about Stadia, so nothing. I wouldn't go any length at all. I didn't go any length at all to buy Stadia when it was a thing.
But if you did, you would have gotten a full refund and a free controller that can now support Bluetooth.
I do want a controller.
If you updated.
Yeah. This question is hilarious. It's like, how far are you willing to go to save Stadia?
Yeah, and it's just like, nowhere.
Live or die, make your choice.
Whoever wins, we lose. I also, it's like, okay, the text is kind of interesting, but I don't need to save Stadia. Like, I did not use Stadia.
You had it.
Well, okay, but let's... If you change this to, like, xCloud, something I do use, then I would be interested.
Okay, how far would you be willing to go to save random video game service you like, then?
Okay. I don't know. Saying like I'll never live in Russia, that's pretty easy at this point since they're causing a war to happen. So as much as I like traveling and maybe one point in my life, it's like I'll go to Russia. Right now, it is not happening for the foreseeable future. So I could steal that one for sure.
I don't know, man. Like, I guess I would give them a couple more dollars in like an Indiegogo or something. I don't know. I don't care about weird video game shit enough to be like, oh, I would make sure that I changed my life to make sure I could play Game Pass. Like, I don't care.
Game Pass, like, I would happily pay more money each month.
Yeah, sure. But that makes sense. That's a thing that you're a consumer. You are giving them a thing to help them do that. Like, what is like, I would cut off my pinky toe. Like, I don't... What's this gonna do?
I guess this, it's like we're trying to
bring back the Stadia. What do you expect?
Yeah, like,
yeah.
Would you rather, like, have all 10 of your toes or 9 of your toes and Stadia?
We're not gonna make it any better. We're just bringing it back.
Don't answer too quick. Think about it for a second.
Like the McRib, it never leaves.
Now,
can you imagine if Stadia came back?
If we're talking about the Ouya, now I'm more interested.
Bring back the Stadia and make it Google Glass compliant.
I'm thinking like 18 months from now, Google announces we're bringing Stadia back.
As they clearly will do.
We're giving it another try.
But we need everybody to, like, I don't know, have a goofy haircut or something.
Well, we need you to send in pictures of your ear. Hello, I'm Mark Cerny, and I work for PlayStation. Do you remember that? Do you remember when he asked people to send in pictures of their ear?
I don't at all.
I am not making that up. This was when he was announcing, when they were talking about the PlayStation 5. He literally was like, send in photos of your ear because we're doing some really cool stuff with like audio tech.
What?
This is a real thing. You can Google it.
I did just Google it.
I'm not making this up.
This is the weirdest
know how nobody
fetish.
Mentioned this. Mark Cerny actually liked people's ear pictures on Twitter. Guess he wasn't kidding around.
All
this
right.
Was March. Oh my god. Oh, 2 years ago. Okay.
Yeah, because it was, or maybe it was right after the PlayStation 5. I guess I don't remember.
Weird.
I think John's next.
Yes. Dead writes in and says, "Do you like battle passes?" I'm so conflicted on them now. I liked them at first, but like it does kind of turn into a grind. It depends on how much you have to play the game to get the full content of the battle pass and how long you get. If it's a short battle pass or like a short time battle pass or like a really grind heavy one, absolutely not. If it's like just like you don't have you just can play casually and still get it, then sure.
I'm gonna say
like,
no.
Those are few and far between.
I'm gonna take a more hardline stance and just say no because the benefits of a few cool things if I play a little bit extra isn't outweighed by the fact that it could be predatory to people that have real problems. So no, I kind of just don't.
I'm gonna say yes, because I kind of like the added challenges or objectives that I get to do each day. Or, every time I log in, it's like, okay, I'm gonna focus on doing these 5 things, and it varies up, what characters I play as and what modes I play as or whatever. So
Sure.
I do like them, especially if it's a free to play game. It's like I'm happy to give you $10. I don't like short battle passes like Marvel Snaps lasting a month.
Yeah, not a fan of
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Whereas, Apex is a 3-month long thing. That's way better. Let me rephrase it for you to make, because I know you're both kind of leaning no. Paul's definitely no. Battle passes are kind of like an answer to like loot boxes and microtransactions. So do you like battle passes more than the alternative?
More than loot boxes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty simple yes for me. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like you're gonna get one or the other. Or they're gonna raise the price on games even more.
I would rather
right?
that. I would rather them raise the price on games, honestly.
Oh, really?
Than include any of that shit. Yeah, absolutely. But I'm also saying that in the position of somebody fully employed that could buy the games that I want.
Yeah.
So
I'm the same stance of like, if I have the money, since I have the money, I'm okay with them raising it. But like, I know if I was still in college, I'd be furious if they raised the price.
just straight up, a couple years ago when I was unemployed or between jobs, I would absolutely not take this stance. I would be super opposed to them raising the price of games. So
it's definitely a privileged stance.
For sure. Yeah.
You also wouldn't get very long tails on games, even if they did raise the price, because the
we
battle
barely get
pass...
long tails on games now, though.
Yeah.
Well, not on live service games; those have long tails. But they, if let's say they raised the price another $10, they would have to do something a year or so from now to try and get another source of income. It couldn't just be like a one-time purchase. You know what I mean? Like Nintendo kind of does. Even they have to put out DLC.
I mean, yes. However, I'm also a fan of a game not having a million people working on it and smaller projects. As instead, I would rather pay like a smaller studio more money for their game and get a good experience, and then like a new thing later on than the same thing over and over. I guess is like, I don't want to support one game over and over necessarily. I would rather a bunch of different stuff.
Sure. I get that.
So it just depends on like what you're into, I guess.
And then last one from Gutang Clan. I now have an Xbox Series S. I'm usually a physical game buyer, so an all-digital console is new to me. What are 5 Series X games, not Xbox One games, I should definitely buy for it? I don't have Game Pass. Don't have a lot of time monthly to pay games, so I wouldn't get use out of it.
Not Xbox. Okay, so no old games, because my answer was Castlevania. What the hell was that called? Not Harmony. Is it Harmony of Dissonance?
Harmony of Despair.
Of Despair. It's one of those. Because I think that game is super fun, and if you have buddies to play with, it's even funner. But
that's a that's a
an
360
old game. Yeah.
I'm curious if they're specifically asking like they don't want old games, they just want new stuff, because a lot of Xbox games are playable on both. So are they wanting games that just like Gotham Knights, where they did not make a past gen version? Are they wanting like that? Because that's gonna
I assume
really
that's what they're
limit
implying. Let's assume they already have an Xbox One for argument's sake. Yeah, that's actually really tough because of the way Microsoft.
I don't know how many of those there are.
I can't imagine many, actually, because Xbox is pretty good about doing both.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to Google this or something, because like otherwise the answer is, I mean, I really liked Elden Ring. You could pick that up. I don't know.
See, like I even search up for like Xbox Series X only games, and they're giving me a bunch of stuff that I know is also on the Xbox One, or has a version on the Xbox One. It may not run great, like Forza Horizon 5.
Yeah.
If they're just wanting like new games, so not old games, then some easy recommendations. Halo Infinite's pretty fun.
Sure.
Campaign is good. Has some fun multiplayer. Forza Horizon 5, real good. I think you would.
Yeah.
I think you wouldn't go like if you go to anything first party. Those are pretty enjoyable, and I know you wouldn't have had access to them elsewhere. Maybe PC.
Gears
Oh, sure.
5. I always recommend a Gears War game.
Sure, yeah.
Psychonauts 2, that's cross-platform though, so they might have had that on PlayStation or somewhere else.
Oh, right.
I like Pentiment a lot, but I can understand that's a niche game, so that might not be up their alley.
Sure, yeah.
That definitely is an Xbox exclusive, as one of like 2 that came out last year.
See, that's the tough thing about Xbox is like most of their exclusives are just kind of like in the same kind of categories, and they're pretty few and far, or they have a PC version. So
yeah,
I mean,
well,
you
most
should
of them will have a PC version.
You should probably get Forza Horizon if you like driving games. Like,
yeah,
Easy, yep.
yeah,
easy recommendation there. Halo, easy recommendation. Gears, easy recommendation. But like, if you don't like those genres, then it's tough because it's just like they don't really do.
You know what he does like? I actually know what he likes. He's big into tactics games and
Gears Tactics
and fighting games.
I don't think they've come out with much of a fighting game recently, right?
No, the last exclusive fighting game was Killer Instinct, and that has a PC version, anyways.
That was definitely on the Xbox One.
Yeah, that was Xbox One.
That was a launch, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty damn close.
Hey, Immortality is the best FMV game, and that's Xbox exclusive right now. That's a pretty good one.
Midnight Suns, Marvel. Oh, you should totally actually. He's a big comic book nerd too. You should totally get Marvel's Midnight Suns. Actually, for real.
Because that's tactics and comic books. That
for sure. Yeah.
Both. I actually started that this week. I just didn't play enough to mention it, but I did start that this week because I'm not playing enough games right now.
That's definitely my recommendation. You should get Midnight Suns.
Jay says Street Fighter 6 is coming soon. That's true.
Street Fighter 6 is like May, June, something like that.
It's June 2nd, I believe. First week of
Atomic
June.
Heart comes out next month. That game looks pretty cool.
Yep.
Kind of Left 4 Dead fighting big robots. It looks pretty fun. Co-op stuff. The Ori games
some weird
are
boycott
fantastic.
going on with that, or I just imagine that.
Oh?
I haven't heard anything.
Atomic Heart has some. There's like, I thought I saw something about a weird boycott because it's tied to like Russian money or something like that.
Oh, is it?
I don't know if that could have just been weird marketing or just some word of mouth.
Yeah,
I didn't look into it. I just saw it pop up somewhere. I was like, oh, that's weird. I didn't know anything about the game and just moved on.
I'm seeing a Reddit post about people like it is a Russian studio.
Yeah, no idea. I don't know anything about the game at all. Like I didn't hear anything about it, and suddenly everyone's been talking about it because of like either that or Mick Gordon doing the soundtrack. So no idea.
I'm gonna throw this out here to like end this question. I know you say you don't have Game Pass and you don't have a lot of time monthly. I know you have a kid. If you get Game Pass, it's like a couple bucks a month, and they'll have you and them will have access to like a huge library of just whatever. It's probably your best deal, especially if you don't play games a lot.
The amount of money it would cost you to buy 5 games on the Xbox would be probably the equivalent of what, a couple years of Game Pass?
It'll be, well, especially a lot of these games will be kind of discounted, but like if we say $60, that's over 2 years of Game Pass.
I'm just gonna throw that out there. Like, I would just really strongly consider getting that, and then you can try a whole bunch of stuff. And if you want it, you can buy it through there and get a discount on it.
Yeah,
you're good. Yeah.
Game Pass subscribers do get a 20% discount on any games that are in Game Pass.
Yeah.
So that's an easy way to like buy it for good. If you want to cancel it, you can just do it for a few months.
There's so many free trials of Game Pass out there.
Yeah, absolutely. They could be a thing where like maybe they don't want the kid playing that much games.
Fair.
Who knows?
Totally fair. Yeah.
Screen time or something.
Oh, isn't your first month like $1 and it's 3 months or something? There's a deal going
like
on.
That. They do that deal a lot.
There's always a deal going on.
Yeah.
There's always something. Yeah. Game Pass, man.
I suggest it. Otherwise, Midnight Suns, get on it.
Yep.
All right, that's going to do it for questions. If you want to send in a question for next week, topdownperspective@gmail.com, @TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. What's your game of the week?